Right here is LG's C10 or CX OLED TV, and it's pretty much regarded as the best gaming TV you can buy right now. It's also one of the most expensive, but you don't need to spend a ton of money to get a great gaming TV. The LG CX is a TV that can handle color contrast and HDR better than pretty much any television out there. OLED is the display technology, and that's one of the things you need to consider when getting a TV specifically for gaming. But here's the thing, getting a TV that's good for gaming is also probably going to be good for pretty much anything else you want to watch on it. So it's fair to take this buying advice as a general rule for any reason that you might be buying a new television. Now, because I specialize in video games, I don't necessarily have the last word when it comes to TVs. So for help on this, I decided to hit up my good friend David Katzmeyer, who is CNET's expert television reviewer and probably one of the most important people in that industry in the entire world.
Let's tier it out here. So tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, start at the base. That's like your standard LCD TV, right? Like a TCL 4 series, something in like the $500, $600 range for a 65-inch size, even cheaper for, the smaller sizes. Those are the TVs, I would say, without a feature called full array local dimming. So that's kind of the baseline feature that you want to be looking for in a good TV for gaming. So that middle tier TV is going to have full array local dimming. That's like a TCL 6 series, Vizio M series, $700, $800, $900 for that 65-inch size, right? So again, a few $100s more, but you get a markedly better picture quality experience because of full array local dimming, which, long story short, makes it so you can localize the backlight. So you can have like a bright light on the screen, look a lot brighter, and make the rest of the screen not come up in brightness, look washed out, that sort of thing. It controls that locality of the backlight on the LCD. The top tier, as you might guess, is OLED. OLED is very different from LCD displays. So LED, LCD, including full array local dimming that I just mentioned, they all have a backlight behind the screen that shines through this panel on a 4K TV. That's 8 million pixels on that panel. The light all comes from that LED backlight. So no matter how many pixels are, you're limited by the locality of the light itself. With an OLED TV, every single pixel creates its own light. It's called an emissive display technology compared to transmissive on the LCD side. So since every little pixel, just picture 8 million tiny little light bulbs that can have different colors, that creates precision that you just can't get. And it also allows the pixels to turn off completely. So you have that perfect black level. So the combination of really precise illumination when the pixels are on and perfect black level gets you to that contrast. And you can see, as soon as you turn it on, you go, wow, this is an OLED. The black levels are perfect. There's no blooming around any of the highlights on the screen. It really is, a step above visually compared to an LCD TV. So OLED TVs pretty much all handle the latest generation input features. They all have pretty much what you want. So if you're going to spend that money on an OLED TV, you're going to get 4K 120 hertz input capability right off the bat if you buy, a 2020 or 2021 OLED TV. The Sony TVs all have that as well, that 4K 120 hertz input. So that's that smoothness. You can have 120 frames per second come in at 4K resolution. Most games now that do that actually dumb down the resolution to 1440 or even less, 1080p coming in. So that's an issue, but future games are going to really take advantage of that. They might update some current games to take advantage of that. So you get that, again, really high frame rate plus that awesome resolution, which is great. The TV has to handle it. The mid-range TVs won't. So, you get a TV that's less expensive, it won't be able to handle 120 frame per second input. It won't be able to handle, a 4K at 120. So you got to look kind of carefully, unfortunately, at the features there. But the good news is those really high-end TVs and then the higher-end LED LCD TVs, especially the upcoming 2021 models, are going to be much more supportive of that. Another flag here is that it's not on every input. So you got to make sure to plug your thing into the right input. So some inputs, some TVs only have 1 or 2 inputs that support all this stuff. You have a bunch of devices, for example, you can't handle all that. So that's the second most important thing, that 4K 120 frame per second input. The most important though is just what we were talking about, is that backlight technology on OLED. It's the display technology itself. Third on the list, probably VRR support.
Okay, so you do need that 120 hertz refresh rate to be able to handle things like 120 frames per second. Now, what if your source material fluctuates? What if that varies in terms of frame rates? Well, then you need something called variable refresh rate compatibility, and some TVs support it, some don't. So I asked Dave to explain what it all means.
I'll actually use the 2020 Vizio M series, a mid-range TV that I really liked for the money, about $700, as kind of the midpoint for that. So that TV supports VRR, variable refresh rate. The TV can dynamically adjust its refresh rate depending on what the game sends it. So if there's a really tough boss battle or something like that, a bunch of frames flying around, it can go up or down and cut down the refresh rate to make the image look smoother, to prevent tearing, artifacts like that would happen, if the refresh rate was fixed. Typically the refresh rate is fixed at 60 frames per second. So that Vizio TV can't handle 4K 120. It can't go up beyond 60 frames per second. So it still does VRR, so it can go down. It can go down to 48. So you get that benefit, if a really difficult scene comes up. The flip side is most TVs that will do, VRR will also do 4K 120. So those two kind of go hand in hand, especially with the 2021 models that are coming out.
And you can't really talk about new televisions without mentioning the obvious HDR compatibility. And sure, a lot of TVs have that built in. It's sort of standard at this point in 2021, but each HDR implementation and the technology that a TV uses varies from set to set. So here's what Dave thinks you need to know.
Not every HDR is created the same. So, again, the TVs like the LG OLEDs, the TVs with really good full array local dimming, those can really make HDR pop. And let me take a step back here. HDR is the thing that makes games look really, really, really good. If you have a game that handles HDR well, a TV that can do HDR well, I was just playing Ghost of Tsushima, and I was like, the HDR in that is really kind of crazy the way that they do it. And if you have it calibrated right, it can look spectacular. If you have a cheap TV, sometimes it'll look better with SDR. Or conversely, a game that can't handle HDR, when Cyberpunk first came out, its HDR was pretty broken. They've done some updates and made it better since then, but it's not. It really varies per game. And then you have to calibrate, like I mentioned before. You have to get the adjustments right. So there's calibration settings on the consoles, on the games themselves. All the nomenclature is all over the place. It's really hard to tell whether you're doing something right.
4K 120, VRR, these are all pieces of technology that rely on something called HDMI 2.1, which is a newer protocol for the HDMI standard. Now, a lot of televisions sold, even right now, maybe only have one port that can do 2.1, or none of them do, and they're still stuck on 2.0.
Right now, a lot of the inexpensive TVs have HDMI 2.0, which does not have the bandwidth to handle 4K 120, let alone 8K or any of that stuff they're talking about in the future. And it's not set up to handle VRR. So you need HDMI 2.1 compatible inputs, at least one for your new next generation console, at least on that TV if you want to take advantage of those features. So often TV manufacturers don't push it, HDMI 2.1, it's not on the spec sheet. They'll talk about 4K 120 support, they'll talk about VRR support, but they won't actually spell out HDMI 2.1. And, some TVs that claim HDMI 2.1 aren't fully compatible, especially with 4K 120, which uses the most bandwidth. The good news is that in 2021, this year, the TVs that are coming out throughout this year, especially in the mid to high end, are going to, have a lot more HDMI 2.1 support. You're going to be able to get, a little more reassurance and also pay a little bit less money to have that support than you would have last year.
This is a lot of information to digest. I realize that. So I asked Dave if he could just give us, 3 tiers of advice, right? That entry-level advice, the mid-range, and of course, what is the TV you would get? You don't have to worry about how much it costs.
The cheapest TV that I recommend that's really good for gaming is that Vizio M series, because it's the entry level really right now for full array local dimming. and it has VRR support. So you get that kind of bonus of having a little bit of that next generation gaming capability. Plus, full array local dimming really does make a difference. Stepping up from there is going to be like a mid-range, like a Sony X900H. This is a 2020 version. The 2021 version is the X9J. So those TVs are going to have really good, gaming support. It's one of the least expensive TVs that supports 4K 120. VRR support is coming. So, Sony does a good job with that. They also, I tested that TV with, Last of Us Part 2 when it came out, and that, it looks really good. They have a good game mode that brings up the shadow detail and doesn't make it look, too washed out. You can see the zombies in the shadows, that sort of thing. So that was really cool. And then kind of the top of the line, at least in the 2020, is the LG OLEDs. And then also the C1 coming out in 2021. I haven't reviewed that TV, obviously it's not on the market yet, but those have been the gold standard. And so they're also the gold standard for connectivity. And they're adding some new stuff for 2021 where you can, see whether these features are active. They say there's a mode that'll adjust automatically depending on the genre of game that you're playing, So you're playing an FPS, we'll flip it into FPS mode, sort of like movie mode and sports mode on a television for those types of content. So we'll see how that works. But LG has really been on the cutting edge of making sure that their TVs support games and for updating when there's issues, which is a huge deal, keeping that firmware up to date on the TVs, supporting those. So that would be, the gold standard, again, for gaming and for pretty much everything else you're gonna launch.
So there you have it. Buying a new TV for gaming doesn't have to be this confusing mess. There are just a few sort of bullet points you need to pay attention to. And sure, new TVs are gonna come out, but if you look at the baseline of specs on a TV that you're buying this year or your next purchase, it should give you a solid baseline, at least for the next couple years. Now that the new consoles are out, we sort of know where the tech is going for the immediate future. So I hope this buying guide was helpful for you. Of course, you can check out our entire list of recommended TVs over at CNET.com. I'm Jeff Bacalar, and thanks for watching.